Is it comfortable being a full-size man riding on a Kawasaki ZX4RR? Let's talk about that. Let's get cracking. Good moto morning. Welcome to Kraken's Garage. On today's episode, we're going to discuss the comfortability of riding on a sport bike, a smaller super sport. I get asked that question by pretty much every person I meet, being a tall drink of water that I am. The short answer is yes, it is. And this is where people think I have lost my marbles. In 99.9% of the motor community, their idea of riding a motorcycle and being comfortable is something like a Gold Wing or a Harley Touring bike or a Springfield Touring bike. Big padded seat, backrest, footboards, riding pegs on the side to kick your legs out so you look like you're at a gynecology appointment giving birth to some crotch fruit. Never understood that riding position. The answer is all mathematics, let's say. How high are the pegs off the ground determines how much of your legs or knees are kicked up. Are they interfering with the handlebars? There's something called the riding triangle, and that's the arms to the bars, hands to the feet, and feet to the riding position, and it forms a triangle. There's a wonderful website, I'll post it up here, where you can look at different bikes and put in your size and features, and it has a pretty good selection of bikes to choose from to image that digitally what a person's riding position would be on that very bike you're thinking about buying. It's definitely worth checking out, and it's free. Kind of interesting to toy with on this program, but at the end of the day, the main culprit here that character assassinates sport bike riders is the weight on the hands. Your hands are going to go numb, carpal tunnel, blah blah blah. Yes and no. If it's truly a clip-on, you're completely hunched over, yes, it's a very aggressive riding stance, and yes, it's going to be hard on the heel of your hands. Now on this particular bike, if you take a look, let me point the camera down. If you take a look here, the clip-ons are actually above the triple tree. They actually raised them up versus putting them on way down here. The pegs are actually lower than most sport bikes of this nature. So I have kind of a relaxed fit in my legs. And how I do it, everybody is different, so don't scold me if you do it differently, is put your nads right up against the gas tank as close as you can. Then with your legs, grip the tank with your thighs. And in effect, you are now bolted onto the bike. If you just use your legs and hug the tank. Now, regarding the weight on my hands, if I'm using that method to stay on the bike, I have no pressure on my hand whatsoever. Somebody once told me that when you're riding, you should grip the grips like you're holding onto a bird eggshell. I don't know about all that, but the general idea behind it was to grip them ever so slightly and not have the death grip on them. The second part of this equation to not having numb hands on riding this type of position or a cafe type bike is don't lock your arms. Don't lock your arms forward. Keep your arms bent at all times, just like your knees. I'm kind of in the Boy Scout crapping position here riding this bike. Think about a Boy Scout pooping in the woods, you get the idea. My legs are bent, so as the bike takes an impact, has ups and downs, my knees and legs become part of the suspension as well. Same rule should apply for your arms. As the bike changes up and down from the terrain you're riding across, your arms should be able to give a little because you keep your elbows bent. Now if you follow that simple method, I am far less fatigued riding this type of bike than I am a cruiser. Now, here's where everybody's going to argue and say, oh, Kraken, I don't believe you. Well, have you tried one? I speak with a voice of experience. You need to spend an hour or two on a bike like this or my Harley Roadster to understand what I'm talking about. It's a completely different style of riding, and there's different styles for different people. So try to be open-minded about it. And who knows, you may find your next best bike you've ever ridden and the most fun you've ever had on a bike. My father used to say the mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open. Open up your mind. Let me know your thoughts down below on what you think about riding on a sport bike and the riding position. And there's my Ghost Dog Bourbon. He's here to remind me to wrap things up. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. If you want to see more in the future, hit that subscribe button right down there in the corner. And remember, folks, go riding because it's good for you. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.